hey, hi. Sorry, guys. You catch me every time. Welcome to another riveting edition of Three Dudes Brews, The Last Call. I'm your co-host, Buddy Thayer, and I'm happy to welcome you to this amazing podcast. We have a lot of surprises tonight. We got a lot of things to go down. When I think about a lot of things going down, I think two of the most swellest guys from joining us live from the foothills of Mount Olympus. Please welcome the doctor and the Greekiest guy I know, Costas. Hey guys, how you doing tonight?
Let me tell
What's
you,
up, dude?
buddy, you got to start keeping your fantasies out of these opening monologues, man.
Yeah, it's a little creepy.
It's what are you talking about? I was talking about beer, guys. What do you mean?
I told you I'll give you a hug later if you want one. You want a hug?
I'm always open to a hug, Ed. We're not together, so we cannot physically embrace. But I would definitely. I'll give you a virtual.
To a lot of things.
I'll give you a virtual embrace.
Okay. It's been a hell of a week already. It's been
a great week. It's been a great week. Yeah, it's been a hell of a week. Tell me about your week, Edward.
I mean, it's been a short week, but it's still been like insane. I don't know about you, but my week's been just.
The weekend was fantastic, but the week has been. It's been a week.
It's been a week. You know what makes it better though?
It's been a week.
Beer. Oh yeah, boy,
Beer.
Definitely.
Beer makes it better. Beer makes everything.
It's been started off as an emotional roller coaster kind of a week, and then like, bam! I went back up and holy shit! I got accepted to grad school in Tuesdays, which is fucking awesome. So yeah, dude, it's just it's lovely. What's even more lovely is I almost forgot about the 10 great beers I have from Maine sitting right in my right in my breezeway guy. So
yeah, I had put a request in. If you're willing to part, I'll give you the money for them.
Oh, I have. Yeah, I got one. I got a few ones of
because I haven't had the others.
Well, before we get into what beers we're drinking, because that's always the funner part.
Yeah.
I'm going to welcome. We usually do the special dude, the duder of the month, or the special dude of whatever you guys want to call it.
Dude of the month.
You know,
dude of the month, duder of the month, dudette of the month.
The whole brevity thing, you know, Deuterino.
The whole El Deuterino, if you will.
Deuterino.
So for tonight, tonight would have been our off week, but because we have so many interesting people that want to drink beers with us, I squeezed one in tonight, and he comes to us not far from just up the road, guys. He's just right up the road. Literally, I could I don't know if I could walk to him right now, but I could walk to him really soon. Please welcome to the show, guys. The special dude of the month, Nate Aiello.
Nate,
hey, how you doing, dude?
Nate, how you doing, buddy?
Gentlemen, it's good to see you. How's everybody doing? Cheers.
How you doing, brother?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm still alive. Still standing.
Buddy's Friday. Buddy's drinking good beers. It's a good night.
I was listening to you guys saying how the week was. It's been a week.
Yeah,
I think we could all agree that it has been a week.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's been interesting for sure. Let's just leave it at that. You know, so
sure.
Weekend was full of beer and grilling and
a lot of food,
sun and everything else. And it's you get to the week and it's
where'd all the fun go?
Yeah,
I gotta work again. Ugh.
Listen, Nate, if you hit Powerball, just remember us.
Knock. Who's there? You guys. Don't worry about it. I got.
I think it would be dangerous if I hit Powerball to do this as a full-time gig. I would be.
Forget it.
I'd probably be dead in 3 years. I don't know. I'm just
You're literally
be dead in 3 years. Oh my God.
Speaking of drinking good beers, guys, what do we got going on tonight? What cost us? Why don't you start us off?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, you know what happened this week? We had the release of the Vigilant peanut butter and jelly.
Oh yeah, dude, it was totally peanut butter.
It was peanut butter jelly time, and Three Dudes was there to represent.
Yeah, we were.
I made sure I got my case. We couldn't
folks, not
case.
cans.
No, not cans.
Case.
Can no case.
Yeah, I know, but you got a case.
Yeah, case. Yeah. I mean, come on. It's peanut butter and jelly time, you know.
It's very delicious. It's
fair enough.
Peanut butter
many of them.
So I think I was the only one at the table that didn't have the PB&J that day. I mean, I took some home. Don't get me wrong, but they have so many good beers over there, Vigilant. I had to try something I hadn't had.
That's true. They do have a ton of good beers.
But anyway,
what do you got?
Anyway, Costas, this is the second time peanut butter and jelly has been your opening beer.
Perhaps.
I think so, but it's okay because it's a special one costs us, so it's all right.
Oh, yeah, it's near and dear to my heart.
Right, I got 12 of them sitting right downstairs from me. All right, go ahead, Ed. What are you going on to?
I am going working man. I'm going blue collar. I'm going
classic
to
Rhode Island.
Crush it. Like Quint. And this one is cute because we got to represent the man.
It's a great movie, dude. I watched it 3 times this week alone, but not a great beer. But I mean, good for you. I mean, Narragansett does a lot of good things. I'm not a big fan of that.
To me, the Gansett Lager is just my everyday. I want to grab a beer quick. That's my beer. That's my go-to every day. Just drinking, pounding, crushing, whatever, light, easy to drink.
Yeah.
Great on tap.
Ed, definitely like lean more to your right a little bit because you're hiding behind the logo and playing peekaboo with me from behind the logo. So
can we move said logo?
We can't. It's where it is, dude. It's StreamYard, dude. I don't make those.
Are we out from behind the logo?
Yeah, you're out from behind. Yeah, you're good. You're not playing peekaboo.
Nate, what are you drinking?
Yeah, Nate, what's up, Nate? Ooh, what's that?
Double orange starfish from Aslan.
Aslan.
Yep.
Where is that?
Like the lion from the wood.
This was actually the #1 rated double IPA in Virginia.
Oh,
nice.
Damn.
I go through Virginia from time to time, and I like
Virginia.
They are the best. They are one of the best IPA makers on the East Coast.
Really?
Yes.
Are they like more of a New England?
They do a lot of New England's, but they're much more forward than thick, juicy. Very New England, but not frothy, if you will. Not you're not chewing bits, that kind of stuff. But I find Nate that like a lot of people when they think of like a good IPA, it's either New England or like California. But there are so many good beers in the Carolinas that are amazing. Yeah, I think that the IPA range has definitely gotten that kind of vast of either solid, thick, or West Coast, where there's so much of it, like what you're drinking. I can't even because I'm going to break your kneecaps. I think the next time I see you because I ask you for that. You better still be holding one for me because
I still got like 6. I got 6 on my breezeway. One to Ed. I have one for you. I'm having 3 of them this evening though. So
I believe you would be.
What are you drinking, buddy?
Come on.
So, buddy. It's this lovely golden, like quasi clear. There's not a lot left because I've drank most of it in the 10-ounce glass. But Buddy is drinking straight from the land of Maine. Speaking of great New England states, we'll be there in a few months, Costas. You can't really see. Oh, there it is. Breakfast by Maine Brewing Company, guys. It's a good double IPA. It reminds me of my girl Captain's Daughter. It's got a little bit of that that little bit of that kick to it in the back of it, but it's nice and smooth. It's not very fruity either. So, I mean, I don't even know if there's Citra in it. It doesn't
fruity is
like
good.
Citra.
Piney.
Well, I'm definitely going to get my hands on it because I've had lunch plenty of times, and I love lunch. Okay.
Lunch is that single. It's I think it's 7 change. It's all right. Then they did dinner, which was like holy shit, really good. I had that when they first came out. I was coming home from Umbigog like 7 or 8 years ago, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna stop that. Yeah. And when they said they were releasing breakfast, I'm like, I'm getting paid tomorrow. I get tomorrow off. I got nothing else to do, but he's going to get in the car and drive to Maine. So, that's what I did. So I still got some of it left, guys. And it's definitely worth the ride.
We're going to need it soon here before, they don't make it out of the garage.
Right. They don't make it that often. I think it's
I'm worried about you drinking it.
Yeah.
Like 2 or 3 brews a year. Oh, yeah. It'll be going rather soon because I almost forgot that I had it out there. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't need to buy beer. I have beer on the porch.
Unreal. So you know who else has some really, really good stuff?
Oh, do tell, Ed, because I think you posted a can tonight that I'm like, hey, I took that Dumbagar. Go ahead, tell me.
No, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
Our man Nate here.
Oh shit! Yeah, right. Nate, this guy down here, Nate. Yeah,
the dude of the night, man. He's got
this guy's not catching on too quick to what you're serving up.
Right.
I'm telling you, I don't know. Sometimes we got to get them on the uptake, but
yeah.
So Nate, tell us what's going on in your life.
So, well, let's just talk about beer because my life is people will start crying and they'll turn the show off.
Yeah. You talk, I'll drink. Go ahead.
My buddy and I decided while we were up actually in Vermont at he has a condo up at Magic Mountain, and we were imbibing, and we decided that we were going to take the leap and start a brewery.
Nice.
Been in the industry for quite some time. Actually, the reason why I'm drinking Aslan tonight is because Kai is really the guy who kind of like set that trend for me back 14 years ago when I first started, hanging around with those guys down there because I used to work down in DC.
Nice.
And seeing how they were making beers and they were literally the quintessential nano brewery. It was a picnic table. It was a guy walking around with 2 pitchers of beer, and he mixed the two together and he said, try this and tell me what you think. So that idea just stuck with me all the time. And I visited with those guys so many times. As a matter of fact, my job entailed me to go to their place quite often while I worked down there. But we are taking the leap. We have been dealing with applications and processes and phone calls and meetings and emails and
the bureaucracy.
It's a lot. Now that I'm going through it, at first it was a real pain in the tuchus. As I'm going through it, I'm understanding more why is because the rules that are set forth just aren't clear. They're just not precise enough to talk about things.
Well, do you think they do that intentionally though?
I don't think so. No? I think that I really don't. So obviously we're going to be in Smithfield. Well, that's what we're hoping for. This is all based on Wednesday night's 6 p.m. meeting with the zoning board to approve our use variance. So we can turn a place that's in project development into a nano brewery. And that's all we want to be. I'm not trying to be Treehouse. I'm name dropping. Sorry. That's not what we're looking for. We want to be a nano brewery. We want to be a community place. We want to be a place where people come and just have a good time, like most of the small breweries that we all, love here in Rhode Island.
For anybody that doesn't know, you're looking to open up a brewery in Smithfield.
Correct.
Right.
Where is that location going to be?
If you're familiar with D'Angelo's right next to Smithfield Commons,
Sure am.
We would be right below that, right below the D'Angelo's.
Right on and off the highway, dude. Right on 44. Great spot.
Right there.
Is that where the old ski shop used to be?
The scuba shop.
Under that. Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
I knew it was
pro shop back in the day.
You're opening up a new brewery in Smithfield on Route 44 in the old scuba shop. And what you said, you mentioned Wednesday. What exactly is going on Wednesday?
Wednesday at 6 p.m. There is a public hearing, meaning that the public can show up and comment if they'd like to, and support us to change the zoning regulations to be able to allow a nano brewery to come in there and produce beer. After that happens, once we do get our variance passed, that's when we start the process of applying federal and state, which I think we all know that in Rhode Island, it's a very loving state when it comes to craft breweries. So
Amen.
That's what we're hoping for. But, 35,000 cars a day drive by that one spot, and then you got 91,000 cars a day on 295. So,
and you get Buddy Thea like within walking distance. So
right? I mean, that's all you need right there,
dude. If that's not my go-to right there, let me ask something, Nate.
Sure.
You say nano brewery. I've heard microbrewery. I've heard maybe macro brewery. I've heard like big box brewery. What's the difference between all?
All right.
Breweries?
So a microbrewery is the term that actually Smithfield and most other towns have already in their ordinances. Okay. So when they write these rules back in the time, when they're presented with it, it's a microbrewery. So a microbrewery is 15,000 barrels or less per year, with 75% of their product being off-site distribution. Okay, so you're distributing cans, you're distributing kegs, you're, all that stuff. When you get down to nano brewery, which nobody has an exception for, you just kind of have to wing it, which is kind of what we're doing. Less than 2,000 barrels a year.
Wow.
With no expectations of distribution.
Okay.
We do not have any accounts set up. We are not looking to take on accounts at this time. We are just looking to.
Makes it a good beer.
The way that we're going to kind of do it is because a couple of my beers are seasonal. I think it's going to be a thing where we do a lot of rotations. We're not going to have a lot of beers that just sit, let's go down to Uncommon Pair and get the lager. It's not going to be,
Yeah.
You guys were lucky enough to try the flagship.
Oh, that plane, dude.
Which is, we've done a couple batches of that now, but we have to wait now for the spruce to come back. So that's not something we're going to be able to do all the time. But you guys had the strong ale, which was a spruce and
dude, that was amazing.
Let me tell you,
Fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Man, was that good.
Yep. Thanks.
Fantastic. Listen, and I'm thinking, you got all that car traffic on 44.
Yeah.
Not to mention the holiday season.
I can't even imagine Smithfield Commons is going to blow my mind. It's going to be ridiculous.
You're not going to be able to pour fast enough.
Yeah.
Buddy Thayer is God's gift to beer. Okay.
Damn right I am.
I'm really looking forward to honey, I've got to run to Kohl's or Target.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I'll be over here. That's what I'm looking for.
And on the way by, running me off.
Yeah, that's God, that's awesome. That's amazing.
It's a
perfect. You can go shopping. I can go drinking.
It's a perfect spot,
right?
It really is.
People like this guy here, Jeff Ahern. He's from
everybody's happy.
He's from the good town of Smithfield. He's a big beer drinker. He drinks Michelob Ultralight, but then on the flip side of the coin, he'll drink Treehouse. What Nate can you suggest to a local Smithfielder who likes to drink such a light, like low end watery beer, and then such a high end, like, oh my God, beer?
Well, I think you have to have a variant of a whole bunch of different things. I'm not just making big bombers. I'm not trying to be greater good. I'm not an Imperial House or anything like that. Yeah. We do have a rotation called Girls Trip.
Ooh.
Which is actually named after my wife and my business partner's wife. They always go to Disney in September together. So she came up with the name Girls Trip, and we've done a couple variations of that so far, which have come out, in the mid 4 to low 5, which is a lot thinner of a beer. It doesn't have much chunk. Definitely not. I'll be burning
all the calories with you this weekend. So this guy right here on that was commenting. He's running a 100-mile marathon.
He's just insane.
In just over a day. He's trying to do it in like 25, 26 hours. And then we're going to go to Treehouse afterwards. It should be a good time. But
and I am secure enough in my manhood to drink beer that's, Girls Trip.
Yeah,
I don't know about you, buddy, but
it's a nice light. It's a nice.
I'm man enough to do it.
I like a good Pilsner, dude. I like a good wheat beer. I love the fruity beers.
Well, I've got a beer going right now. I've got a beer fermenting right now that I'll tell you guys about it. There's only a couple of people who know about it, so you guys are going to be the first to be able to broadcast it out there.
Baby.
Nice. You heard it here, guys.
I do have a dark wheat that I've made, and it is a cranberry marshmallow. So really what I've noticed with doing marshmallow, because I've used marshmallow a couple times now, is that the marshmallow really just brings out vanilla and sugar.
Yes.
That's really all it is, because then it's egg whites other than that, right? For all intents and purposes.
Oh my God.
But going on my buddy Kai's recommendations, who has been a absolute godfather to me about, my direction. I bought the little mini marshmallows, and they seem to work really, really well. But this beer, I think this is going to set a mark, because the aroma coming off of it just in fermenting is just, solid.
Let me tell you, you've definitely piqued my interest. And if you're looking for any test subjects,
yes, buddy can work there.
The three of us could, we'd be willing to be guinea pigs for you.
We might all have to roll up to Phantom Farms again, and on a weird day, and just all drink my beer at the house.
Oh no, that'd be horrible.
I mean, look at the luck of the draw. We're all here at the same time. I think we may have to pull that off somehow.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
So that was an epic day, by the way.
With the mayor himself, of course.
Yeah. John was hooking us up left
we
and
had
right.
The mayor with us.
We had the mayor with us, Mark Ambrose. Yep. We got to run into you and taste your awesome beer, and it was a perfect like confluence of
I hadn't had a good beer since.
Well, I think that's where we started too, guys. If I remember right,
it was because Mark was there first. So my wife and I showed up first because I was going there to talk to Jay just about, hey man, I got beer. Can you just taste it for me? Let me know what you think. I got there right when it opened, and then I sat down, and then not 5 minutes later, Mark walks in, and I hadn't met Mark before. And I just look at my wife and I was like, that's that Mark guy, right? I was like, so then we started rapping. It was like, hey, so we did the picture. And not 5 minutes after that, you guys came walking in. Yeah. So it was meant to be, guys. It was meant to be.
Definitely.
For sure.
And I apologize, Jay. I called him John, I think, a second ago.
That's okay. I was covering for you.
Horrible with names. It's funny because I actually write them down. Like every time we go and meet new people, I have to write names down because I'm the worst with names. My kids at home, they don't even know what their names are.
Food bag.
Like,
number one, number two.
Hey, you, come here. I can't tell you how many my girls. I have 3 girls and a boy. So my son's safe. I don't mess him up. The 3 girls on the other hand. Girls, I love you, Aria. Hi. Usually you're watching my little one. Every day, I can't tell you how many times I wish I had $1 for every time I did it. I'll the problem is they all look the same at that age. Yeah. So I just keep messing them up.
Right. They all look like you, Ed.
I'm telling you. So, Wednesday. So Wednesday is going to be open to the public, right? So,
correct. Yep. 6:00. We know that there's 4 products or whatever they call them on the docket. We are one of them. There's 2 continuances. There's one for us, and then there's one for a daycare. But I think that ours might be the most challenging just because they only have an ordinance for a microbrewery. So we have to explain nano brewery. We have to explain discharge. We have to explain waste management and things like that. So,
I'm sorry, Ed, why don't you go ahead and then I'll ask you a question.
No, I was just going to say, we're talking semantics, folks.
Yeah.
Instead of a microbrew, it's a nano brew. We're talking verbiage, guys. And it's just, instead of it doing this much, it's doing this much. Right. Everything else is the same, So, for the most part,
you're right.
10,000, 1,100.
It's only going to be good for Smithfield.
Yeah.
It's not going to. It's, we're not bringing in like all sorts of ruffians and hoodlums and
how many how many bars?
That's just it.
You can have grow shops. You can have weed shops. Why can't you have
a ton of them?
Right.
Small craft beer.
That's just it. So, Smithfield,
what's the harm of that?
Come out with numbers, guys. Support your community, support your folks.
Yeah, by all means, if you can, we would totally appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We're just there on our own and just going to kind of we've met with the town twice. There's numerous emails. All of this stuff is public record as well. So if anybody wants to go and look up what we're doing, what we're trying to do, it's all public record. No hidden agendas here.
Has anybody have you had any feedback, whether positive or negative, in either way? As far as you,
I have not. I've gotten positive feedback from people who, are, on our team or on our side about what we're doing. I haven't heard anything negative. And there have been some positive, I have to think about the best way to put this so I don't get anybody, under a gun or something like that. But there has been a positive motivation in the Smithfield Town Hall for our project. So there are some people in there who have expressed interest in us moving forward, if I can say that,
Yeah, that's also knowing that, as a Smithfield resident myself, knowing the town of Smithfield, it's super conservative.
It's a tough situation, but we're bringing, we're explaining to them, is that we're bringing just a good vibe. You know what I mean? We're not just bringing in a beer just beer manufacturing to get rid of it, because we're a 2-barrel house. Yep. We're not going any bigger than 2 barrels. We're going to stay there, and we know what we want to do. And I think that's the good thing about our focus. my business partner and I both agree that this is what we want. We want to focus this. It's not, in 5 years, we're not doing that. We're like, hey, June 4th, okay? And then July 1, and then we, play that game for the next and do our build out. We're really taking this one step at a time with the goal of opening, and just like, I want it to be just a big hug. I just want the place to be a big, nice place to come hang out. That's what we're looking for.
That's awesome.
That would be a great name for a beer.
There you go. It's bringing revenue and tax dollars in too, guys. I mean,
yeah, right. The restaurants around the area that are going to benefit from hungry beer drinkers like yourselves and myself, go to Kello's and order a bunch of food and like a big old beer. To go
who doesn't want to go have beers and then go upstairs and get a number 9? Who doesn't want to do that?
Number 9, dude.
Who doesn't want to do a number 9?
I'm telling you. So, because we don't live in Smithfield, but guess what?
But we're 10 miles down the street.
It's open. Guess what? Exactly. Now I'm going. I'm already there most of the time anyway. The town let that
a little part of Johnston.
Massive complex get built that is now Smithfield Commons.
Yeah.
Right.
That was never there before. People don't seem to realize it. That's,
and there's no breweries
you guys can let that in with the increased traffic. Sorry, I'm not trying to cut you off.
Please.
You guys approve that. And now look at 44 with the amount of cars and traffic at times in the holidays. You got cops out there directing traffic coming in and out. You guys allowed that. Allow this guy to make some tasty beer for you, please.
All right.
Hell yeah. Please.
And I think that if like Buddy brought up the fact that, Smithfield is a conservative town, right?
Yeah.
Which I totally understand.
But even conservatives drink beer.
Right. And the thing is, okay, so it's a conservative town or whatever, but, there might be concern with certain councilmen. I don't know because I'm in North Providence, but if anybody's concerned about like what kind of people are going to be going to this place, the hours, are people going to be over consuming? Is it going to be a rowdy crowd? Is there going to be like,
they can go to Applebee's down the road and over consume.
Right, exactly. But if anybody's concerned, I say you take those people and you go out on a Friday or Saturday night to any of the other local breweries. Like you go down Mineral Spring Ave and there's 4 different places. You go to any of these areas and you'll see that if you don't know the craft scene and you don't understand the craft scene, check it out. It's nothing but love.
Listen,
nothing but quality beers. Everybody's having a fantastic time. It's not a dive bar where you've got all kinds of,
no.
seedy
cigarette butts put out for fucking years, dude, in those ashtrays.
Everybody's here to have a good time, hang out, socialize, have really great beers, and nobody, I don't think, is overindulging because you stay in one spot for an hour for whatever amount of time, and then you move on to the next place.
It's what we call a douche-free zone.
Right.
Yeah. Dude, and if you think about it, if you think of the map of Rhode Island, brewers in Rhode Island, you got Bravo up in Burrville.
Yep. Right.
You got in Cumberland, there's a few beers, few breweries. There's one in Lops. Lops is in Woonsocket, right? Yeah. And then you go south in Smithfield. There's nothing. No. Providence Brewing used to be in North Provolone, like right at the beginning of Mineral Spring Avenue.
Yeah.
That's in Providence now. There's nothing between Burrville and
we got to fill that gap.
There's nothing between Providence in that area. Like if there's like a marker, like it's
Johnston, North Providence, Situate, Gloucester, Foster. All these communities don't have a brewery.
No, right.
We need more breweries.
Phantom is the closest to us, at just under 10 miles, and I think that
in the land of
that's a pretty good stretch, especially if you go to Providence and those guys are 0.4 miles away.
Street in Providence, go to another brewery. Yeah, you got to get in your car drive. So
if you're at Moniker, you can walk across the street.
Yeah, you go Moniker, Origin. You could even walk to Longlive if you've only had a couple. If you've had like 4, then you probably can't go.
Buddy never walks to Longlive.
Yeah, Buddy.
Buddy forgets his wallet at Moniker and then it has to drive back to Longlive. Yeah, it's a nightmare.
We are super, super stoked about the possibility of having a brewery.
I'm being very optimistic it's going to happen. They need to make it happen.
Yeah,
I am trying to be as optimistic as possible. Yeah. There are hurdles, but I think with what we're trying to do, what we're bringing to the table, I also want to just say real quick that everyone in this craft beer community, everyone, all of the breweries I go to, and you can tell all the guys, they all know me. Obviously, I kind of stand out in the crowd. Right. Everyone has just been so helpful, welcoming, warm, and everything. You know, I bring beers to the breweries and I'm like, go ahead and try these things, you guys. And they get back to me, hey, man, this was great. Hey, you should try this. And one other person we all should just bow to because he built Rhode Island is Charlie Barron. That guy has been the absolute quintessential nicest person, most helpful person, I think, around. I don't think he gets enough clout because he sold everybody their stuff and built every single brewery in the state.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, Charlie's a great guy. Great, and it's sad that the homebrew store is closing. Blackstone.
Wait. The one in Woonsocket, the one in Woonsocket, Smithfield. Oh God,
that's Charlie's place.
Oh my God, and they used to do like bear shears. And they used to do like bring your own stuff and like we'll bring our stuff and
we all just pour. We all just sit and pour.
Yeah. What the fuck? He's closing down.
Yeah.
Dude, where the hell?
There's just not enough home brewers anymore.
Because they all got fucking breweries now.
I still go there to pick up my supplies. So
100%, dude.
Yeah, he's so nice. He's so generous with his knowledge. It's just really. I mean, cheers to Charlie. Cheers to Charlie. That place going down is just that's a hurtful thing. Oh, we're doing another one? Can I go get another beer too?
Yeah, go do it.
Yeah, get another one, dude. I'm doing the same beer, but I mean, whatever. I'm just drinking another one.
Buddy's just got them lined up right next to him.
Buddy's got them lined up.
What do you got, Doc?
So, let me tell you. Pivotal.
Pivotal.
The wavelength. Let me tell you about this beer. Make sure we don't get the blur going on. If you guys like kettle sours, dude, let me tell you. So, blueberry, peach, mango, lemon, graham cracker, and you get it all. This is
my God, Ed.
That's like 2 aisles of Aldi right there.
Right. That's like every berry in the basket, dude. Jesus.
I touched the face of God.
Yeah.
When I went to Pivotal the other day, I'm not gonna lie. I love this beer. So my father-in-law
put that up.
Had never been there.
Put up the can.
So we took them, and I'll throw the can up again.
Great can art.
So we took them, and he is now like in love with Pivotal. I mean, later that night he was just like, "When are we going back?" Basically.
Oh, I bet, dude. They got a lot of high end beers. I bet. Dave knows.
He had the Frenchman, and I think it's 11.4%. And my father-in-law, he goes for the heavy hitters, man.
It's like motor oil, but it's delicious.
He was all for it. He was like,
it wasn't thick at all. I don't think.
No, it wasn't. It was actually, it was pretty damn drinkable for 11.4.
Oh yeah, it's an easy. It's an easy.
And every single one on the flight was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But we went out for the weekend and. It was obviously Vigilance release of PB&J, so we stopped at Tragmar to begin the day.
Yep, Tragmar.
And then,
God, I was there the day
went
before.
To Vigilant, and PB was on the menu for that day, and then we hit up Soam's
Cider Works,
and we got.
Dude, that was really good. That was some like. All right, so I'm like an asshole beer drinker, where I think cider is for like little girls, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It was so fucking delicious. It was so good. All 5 of their offerings. If you don't like apples, if you're not an apple-y kind of guy like
don't
Ed,
don't get a cider. Is that what you're gonna say right now?
Oh, it's such good cider. It was so good. Just do it.
You know why? Because it wasn't commercial cider.
Yeah, it's not beer.
This was heirloom cider made with specific apples,
true cider,
from Rhode Island, by this gentleman who, he's Spencer. He's got a plethora of knowledge on all of this, and his ciders aren't, they're not Angry Orchard, and they were between 6 to like 8.5, 9% alcohol, and they were as smooth as could possibly be. And just dropping knowledge on us.
Oh my God. So I apologize to the young woman that was there. We didn't catch her name. But Spencer Costas is talking to them before. This guy will forget more about apples than I'll ever know.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
It's such a small little shop.
Yeah.
You would drive by and potentially
miss it.
But if you haven't been to Soam's, you definitely got to check it out.
What's it called, guys? I'm sorry.
Soam's Cider Works in Bristol. I want to say it's on Church Street.
Gotcha.
It's right down by.
I never heard of it either.
Pop shop, fantastic ciders.
So we got introduced when we did the cider throwdown. That was when Costas had managed to find them, and I never even knew we had a cidery in the state. And I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very happy to actually be able to stop by and go. So it was delicious though. Everything there was just fantastic.
And then to double down on Soam's, which we had no idea about.
Yeah.
There's also another distillery that is in the same exact parking lot as Pivotal, and they take Soam's cider and they will turn it into apple brandy.
Ooh.
So weird.
And I think they were doing a mead with it too.
A mead, yeah. They're doing all kinds of stuff. Like there's so many little places, and you just have to find these little hidden gems. So we're searching for Pokemon for guys. It's like beer.
Pokemon for alcoholics.
That's right. Gotta catch them all. Gotta drink them all.
Gotta drink them all. That's our next sticker, guys. Yeah. Sorry.
Gotta drink them all.
Who did you go make your beer run with? Who'd you grab?
I got, and it's just funny because he just commented on my post that I made today. But
Jay,
the porter. So my wheelhouse is I love porters. I am a porter guy. I am a porter whore. If we can use that kind of language, I love porters.
I said the F word, so I think the W word is okay at this point.
I know, but I'm trying to make a name for myself. I can't just stop. You guys are known. I'm just Nate.
Known.
I'm just Jenny from the block. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to spin some drinks. But no, this is such a dynamite porter. Everything what they're doing over at Phantom is solid. They really got it going on. They've got some good ideas. They've got some good beers.
The brewery, the space upstairs,
so pretty,
mysterious,
so pretty. Yeah,
gorgeous old mill. Yep, and good grounds outside too.
They did a great job with that spot. Yeah, and they do their country fests. They do the Dave Matthews cover stuff. Yes. I think they're doing reggae fest. If I'm
they're doing a few things at Summit, and they've already they did the St. Patty's Day thing. He definitely scored on that space for sure. That's awesome.
It's a gorgeous thing. I mean,
and I heard it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that business that's off to the side where the delivery trucks are always coming in and out of. I heard that's all leaving, and then they're putting condos there.
Oh, jeez. I gotta live there, dude. Oh my God.
See you later. Yeah, that's called winning.
Buddy living 100 feet from a brewery.
Yeah, oh God, that'd be horrible. That'd be horrible. I would have pancreatitis every other month.
I'd be in trouble, dude. We'd be in so much trouble.
Sure.
So Costas, what you got? Was that foolproof?
Me, I'm drinking Foolproof's Watermelon Van Gogh. It's a sour ale with watermelon. Not a lot of pucker factor. It's not very tart. It's very subtle, very mellow, but it's absolutely beautiful.
Another great group of guys, by the way. Jay and the guys down at Foolproof. Awesome.
Dude, I'll tell you about Foolproof. About 10, 15 years ago when Foolproof first started.
I was there.
They weren't great. And then there was a change of ownership, and now they're great. And I love everything that they do.
So I when I was around when all that started popping up in Pawtucket, I was introduced to Crooked, and this was when they were in their old spot when it was half the size of the one that they have now.
Jesus, what was she before?
like a half mile away,
right?
if that, or just like around in the back of those same mills.
Yeah.
But it was just Nicole and Jay, just a counter and like 4 feet behind you to the door. I mean, that was it. But I went to Foolproof, and I told the guys over at Foolproof, I was like, when I first came here, man, I had one and done, and I was like, nah. But they were getting big. They were doing tours of the brewery like every day and stuff, but it just didn't take.
Yeah.
When I started going there again just recently, man, they got some good solid beers in there.
Right.
They have some fun.
For sure.
They have some fun ingredients that they play with, and that I like that. That's good.
I think the business was actually sold like 5 or 6 years ago, and when they sold it, or whoever took it over, just like started doing magical things with beers.
Well, you know about their spot in Connecticut they have, right?
Yeah, I think I've heard about that. I've never
25,000 square feet, roller skating rink inside.
What?
They have lifts that they put like nice cars, and they put them up on lifts in there so that you can check them out.
Where
and
in
they
Connecticut?
say, from what I heard, because I talk to the guys pretty often, is that so it's, I guess it's near a college out there, and on the weekends they do like 11 to 1,500 people, like on a Friday night.
Oh my God!
Yeah, like that. I guess a corporate entity, kind of took that part over, but they're still letting them brew down here, so don't get worried, don't get scared, don't run away, keep going. And they're always open. They've got a great schedule. They're like
that's one of the things, like some of the local places or whatever are very limited hours and days. If you think about the exact amount of time that they're open, it might be 15, 20 hours. So
you're right.
Well, a lot of these smaller places too, they got day jobs.
Yeah, they got day jobs.
Right.
So, I totally understand that, but like, it's kind of tough when you want to go there and you're like, all right, I have to hit this window.
Yeah.
If I don't have anything,
like Nicole, like a credit card. She's only open like Thursdays. It's a little chunk of time, and then Fridays and Saturdays and Sundays.
It's like
5 to 8, and I get it, but there's a lot of people down in that neck of the southern North Providence Pawtucket line right there. Mm-hmm. So, but it's just, you got to fight Middle Spring Avenue. Nobody wants to fight Middle Spring Avenue.
Once you get past 146, it's usually not too bad. Yeah, it's not anything like it is up, before the highway.
That's just like Route 40.
It's exactly. Don't get me wrong. There's no getting over Middle Spring Ave. Sorry, guys. I deal with it on a daily basis, and I hate it.
That light at Pawtucket House is sometimes like jammed. That fall.
Yeah.
So back to Foolproof for 1 second.
Yes.
Yeah.
I actually have the Van Gogh on tap right now in my house.
So,
folks, if you have a kegerator, if you're fortunate enough, if your wifey, if your significant other, if you bought it for yourself, I don't care. If you're blessed enough to have one in your house, mine was a Father's Day gift a few years ago, and I can't tell you how much I love that one.
Yeah,
Foolproof has kegs out. You can get kegs from the distributors.
Yeah.
I don't know what else there is right now, but when I called up to refill my kegerator, and I was looking for a particular sour. I'm not going to drop the name, but apparently it's unavailable, in the torpedoes anymore. So I was like, well, get me the distributor. I got to see what you got. Let me know. I'm looking for a sour. So they came back to me and they were like, oh, we've got this one, and we have, Van Gogh's by Foolproof. And I'm like, Foolproof?
Say no more.
Yeah, I was like, get it. Stop. Do it now. I don't care how much it is. Just get it. So I got to see what else they offer. That's, the laws in the state, it's such a pain for these places to sell their product.
It's a shame.
It is. And, I don't want to get too deep into this, obviously, because we could be here all night just talking about this problem.
Yeah, right.
But, guys, if you're out there listening, please, for the love of God, do something about it, because I should be able to just, walk in, and if I want to get, a small keg from my house, for the love of God, they should be able to sell it to me.
Even like a 4-pack of good beers, dude. I mean, like, it's like just the norm. I mean, I love Long Live, I love Proc. Don't get me wrong, but and Tilted. Those are like in major liquor stores. You're lucky if you see beyond that for local beer. Just like more like variety of beers. Excuse my dog barking in the distance.
Right.
So our local store, I've seen Tilted Barn, I've seen Phantom Farms, I've seen Smug.
At what's her faces over there on North Main?
There's Nicky's, and also
Nicky's has everything.
I love Nicky's.
Heaven on her, right?
Oh, yeah, she's awesome.
Even like Douglas Liquors on
Douglas,
pretty good.
Knights over in Johnston,
right?
I mean, usually, for me, it's I either hit Douglas or Knights because usually that's the two big ones that I'm going by anyway. But I tell you, just those two, I'm sure you've noticed it too, that their craft beer selection has exploded.
Yeah.
Exploded.
I went to a small mom and pop like I would call it a mom and pop shop, right? This small little liquor store down this liquor store down the street from us or whatever. And I had never been into the place, and I walked in and I was like, wow, they've got a craft beer section, and it was a rather decent size, like for their particular building or whatever. There was like two aisles that had beer, like of all different crafts and obviously macro brews, but there was a lot of other stuff there. And I was like, wow, this place had Celtic Barn. They had like all these, there was all of this stuff that was there that I just wasn't expecting for like a small little mom and pop shop. So the craft beers are definitely getting out there for distribution, and it's a great thing.
You gotta shop around. I just want to switch gears for a quick second. Nate, this is like a hot topic.
Sure.
In the brewery world. I don't want to make opinions on it. I just want your opinion because you're going to be opening a brewery.
Let me take my hat off. What are we doing here? What's going on?
He's doing it.
Do we have a disclaimer on this?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll put the disclaimer on, boys.
Let's see what you got.
Nate, your thoughts.
Contact legal.
Let me tell you.
Contact legal. Your thoughts, Nate. If you're opening a brewery, what are your policies on bringing dogs and children into your brewery? Go ahead.
Okay. So I follow. I read. I see the problems. I understand the problems. I do.
Yeah. I understand both sides, obviously, but
I've got two kids, and my two kids come to me with breweries every weekend. When we go to a brewery, they come. Okay,
right. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Go on.
Sometimes they act up.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand that, but I do listen to what these guys and girls and property owners, managers, whatever it is, are saying, because sometimes it does get out of control. I've been there. I've seen it happen. And sometimes it's just like, man, this is going to be bad, huh? All right, listen.
Yeah.
If you can't control your kids, you can't control yourself. Okay, let's be honest. All right.
True. Yes, sir. Well said.
I think everybody is entitled to hang out and have a good time, and I get the people who say, "Oh, well, you bring your kids to a bar." You know what? When I was a kid,
it's not the same.
My parents brought me everywhere because that's what we did. You know what I mean? Like, it was just the way. And I think that, I mean, without going deep into technology and all this other stuff,
right?
Bring something to appease your child while they're there. Okay, don't leave them just sit there and expecting to just have a good time while you're going to have 2 or 3 beers.
Yeah,
right.
Okay, that's not fair.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
If they're unruly, I think it needs to be handled in a proper way. Just a quiet listen. We can't do that here. We have people. There could be people in wheelchairs. There could be, families. Somebody might have a learning disability. We can't have that kind of action. And my wife and I talked about today that we might put a sign on the door just saying anything unruly, an adult, a child, a dog. If you're unruly, I'm sorry. We cannot continue to have you there in that moment.
Right. You guys can hear. Right. You guys can hear my dog barking in the background, right? Yeah. My chocolate lab. She's gonna bark. When she wants attention. I know that she's gonna do this if I bring her to a brewery because I'm drinking beer and she's focused on me, not focusing on her. So she's gonna bark like this. So why would I take her to the brewery in the first place? Right. And I don't.
Even if she barks, she's not an aggressive dog.
Right.
I've been to some places and we've been in there and everybody's having a good time. There's all kinds of conversations going on, people laughing, it's jovial. And then, there are already dogs in the place and some individual walks in and I don't want to, I'm not pointing out any particular breed of dog, but in this one instance, they came in with, I think it was with either a pit bull or a Rottweiler.
Yep.
And now these dogs were they were crazy. Inches away from each other, and everybody's buttholes were clinching, and everybody's like, "Oh Jesus Christ!"
Yeah, here comes the fight.
But I think that if you're going to bring any situation, let's call them situation, whether it's a child, whether it's a dog, or whatever it is, if there is any kind of confrontation, any kind of ruckus or anything,
it's on you.
Both parties need to deal with that in another place besides inside of. I wouldn't do that in somebody's house.
Yeah.
Okay. If my kids started acting up in somebody's house, I'd excuse myself. I wouldn't ask to be left. I would excuse myself and leave.
It's your business. You have every right to say you have to leave.
Yeah.
Because this is not the type of atmosphere that you.
That's that gray area, though. It's they'll never come back. They'll tell because one bad experience, people tell 10 people. You know what I mean? So you gotta.
Right, but then
at the same time, there will be no tolerance for fighting. There will be no tolerance for people acting unruly. There will be no tolerance for dogs fighting or children being unruly.
Right.
You will have to leave the premises because it's a business. Someone can get hurt.
Right.
You know, I've got tanks between 160 and 200 degrees. Something goes awry, somebody touches, you get hurt. You know what I mean? So we can't have that.
Yeah, that's the point I was going to bring up. You have all this expensive equipment that can be dangerous at times, and some kid's running around and goes and touches something that they're not supposed to touch.
Little Timmy will learn.
Yeah, things like that will happen or whatever.
I'm not going to say everybody needs seatbelts and don't get up. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying mind your manners. That's all.
It's Willy Wonka, and they're going to fall into the chocolate river or whatever, or
So my wife and I were having this exact conversation the other day, because we were talking about it. I forget exactly how it came up, but it came up. And, we were discussing about how some places.
It's because we were at one of the breweries over the weekend and we noticed how many children there were. And some kids, the parents, no, little Billy, you can't do this. Come sit down. And they were the parents kept the kids in check. And there were other kids that were running around.
That's probably what it was.
Right.
So we're having the conversation and we're talking, and it's, you brought up a great point. It's that some parents, they don't have anybody. They don't have any support system at home. They can't leave their kids with somebody, but yet they want to go out and they want to enjoy a beer. So yes, they have that right. And on the other side of the coin, and we've talked about this, and like you were saying, Nate, is that as long as the kids are behaved, there's no problem. Right. There's no problem. And if they are misbehaving, either correct it and they get the point, or if they're going to keep being unruly, then you get up and you apologize and you go. That's when it's time to leave.
So let me put this in a way that's non-brewery talk, because this is kind of what happens to me mentally, is that if your kid walks into Target, I'm just going to take Target as an example, just because it's right next to where I'm trying to open.
Right.
Yep.
And they go in and they take that whole candy shelf and they just throw it onto the ground. And I know that's extreme, but that's a big place with one small area of something happen. If you're in a small area and one big thing happens. So let's just take that for example. What's going to happen? They're going to ask them to leave.
Yeah.
Right. And that's nobody's drinking. There's no alcohol involved or anything like that. That is an unruly person, child, adult, whatever it is, that needs to not be in that place at that time. And that's kind of how I feel about it.
And that's just it, So I don't think there's necessarily a need for like a ban.
No, absolutely not.
We know some places where they've got certain hours where after a certain time, yes, it's 21 and over, because you know what? Little Timmy shouldn't be out at 10 o'clock while you're drinking beer.
Fair.
So I'm all for that too. At least offer some time, family hours to let's just say, where
during the day.
Exactly. You can go in.
They're like that after 8 o'clock.
Yeah,
it's 21.
But I mean, you can go in at noon. You can get some food from a food truck or whatever. You can have a couple beers. The kids can enjoy, please entertain them somehow, and then you can go about your day, So
Joe, we met Joe, our film guy, Nate at the Vigilant Brewing last week, and he brought his daughter, 6-month-old Emmeline, to her first brewery.
Okay.
Vigilant. It was nice. And she sat there with the dudes, and she was chill, and she didn't yell, and she didn't scream, and she didn't run around because she can't really walk yet. But I mean, she didn't yell and scream, and we drank beers, and we had a great time.
Right. I don't think that everybody needs to be punished for one or two situations.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, but I also know that, you know, Joe and Kara there, if she started like crying and screaming and she was having a bad day all of a sudden, they would have excused themselves. You know, they would
100%
subjected everybody in the room to that.
Yeah.
But see, I think in the way that we're all talking about it is that we would expect that because that's how we feel. That's what we would do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if my kids were messing up, I'm not just going to pack. I'm just going to be like, listen, we don't do that. And you remove them, you speak about it. And if you still can't get it under control, well, then it's time to do something else.
Yep.
You know, it's the same thing, you know.
Being the Greek, I got to play devil's advocate. And I also understand the sense of, you know, having my family having, you know, multiple businesses, whatever. I can also understand the business side of it where you want to have that availability. You don't want to eliminate or exclude people who have kids.
Right. You're opening to a new market.
Because that's business. You're going to lose business.
Yeah.
These people are coming in with their children and they're having, you know, they're drinking. You know, the kids could be drinking soda or water, whatever. You're drinking beers. So that's money that a business is going to lose out on. So you kind of have to, you know, look at the business side of it because people want, if they exclude, okay, no kids in this place, 21 plus, right? You're gonna lose out on some business.
Listen, we've hit such a hot topic. The cops are coming.
Yeah, right.
I know. I just saw Mark Ambrose. I just saw Mark Ambrose comment, so I know we're all in trouble.
Mark, the mayor is here. Everybody rise.
The mayor's got a good point, though. Is that yes, it's a slippery slope. Yes. It's a hot topic. We have never brought this up and not had opinions on both sides. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's just one of those things that it's. Yeah, both sides have the argument. You know, I don't think, you know, personally, you know, Ed Padnode's opinion is that if your kids have behaved and they're not acting up, fine, great, no problem. If they're mischievous and they're getting into trouble, they're disturbing others and they're making and everybody else is having a bad time because of your kids. Yeah, you need to go.
All right, so here's the counter of that. Okay. The person well, let's say that there's an adult there and let's just say that they have one child. Let's just make it easy. They have one child acting up, running around, causing ruckus. That's making a lot of other people have a bad time. Right. So at that point, I think that you need to say, excuse me, I'm sorry. You know, a lot of people are being, you know, interrupted from having their good time. Would you mind coming back on a different day? You know, try to make it as easy as possible. I think that would be my approach. Yeah, I mean, come back on a different day because it's really not working for the rest of everybody here.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all.
The beer.
We don't have to put them off forever. I mean, you know,
the hard bands fertilize those spruce trees. Listen, you guys have no idea.
He's trying to get us off the topic.
Where I got the let's just go there for a second. The spruce trees, were from Gloucester. Okay, they're on my brother-in-law's property. I went and harvested them. Him and I harvested those spruce myself. So that's like 5 pounds of spruce. I don't know if you know how much spruce weighs, but it weighs nothing.
No,
so 5 pounds is a lot.
So you said 5 pounds of spruce tips?
That's what we pulled. I put 2 pounds in each one of my batches, and I had some on backup.
How many days did it take you to harvest 5 pounds?
Oh, I don't know, about 25 minutes.
And you got to climb trees to do that shit, right?
Yeah, because mature spruces, there's nothing on the bottom all the way up, so you got to go up and get it.
Yeah, I'm all set with that. But thank you for doing that for me because your beer is going to be even more.
Well, I just want everybody to know that this is not going to be a regular rotation beer, but when it comes out, like you guys know, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. It's dynamite. It's a dynamite beer. It comes out really well.
Yeah, I mean, you have to love the beer to go crazy like that and actually, you know, we're talking serious hands-on.
Right.
I was introduced to that style in Alaska, and
Martin needs a job. Just saying. All right.
Yeah.
Hire someone else to climb the trees. Yeah, I definitely. I don't have a fear of heights. I have a fear of falling and hitting the ground.
Dude, you know, fucking like the third step on the ladder, I'm shitting my pants.
I tell everybody all the time, listen, you know, you shouldn't have a fear of heights. You know, if you fall from a high place, it's not the fall that kills you; it's the sudden stop.
Yeah,
right.
You know, so yeah. I mean, it definitely it takes a lot to, if you want to do that style and you're doing it right and you are doing it right, you know, it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
The spruce ale, is that like a pale ale, Nate? What kind of?
No, it's a strong ale.
Oh, that's the strong. Oh yeah, that's
good ale.
It's definitely. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, that she was. I think 7.8 was what that girl was. What that one came in at. 7.8, 7.9, right in there.
That's a good beer.
Mark's
behind
the trees
for the Umbagog beer for sure. Oh my god!
You know, so I know we talked a lot of serious stuff tonight. You know, and it's for a good reason. You know, so definitely get out there and support everybody. Definitely get out there.
Support everybody. Go to all the breweries, guys. My wife and I go to so many different breweries all the time. We go to Proc. We go to we go to Long Live a lot because what Armando does is really truly a craft.
Oh my god,
he has an IPA head like they're not many other people do. Monica's a great fun place.
I've Origin is doing
OADV. Everybody's doing their own thing, and I think that's what Uncommon Pair is doing. We're really going to do our own thing. We're not an IPA house. We're not a wheat house. We're not a sour house. We're just going to keep making cool beers that we come up with that are going to be sometimes uncommon. You know, cranberry and marshmallow. Like, no,
listen, can't wait for that.
And that's just it. You know, we've talked about it before. Yes, variety is the spice of life. It is fantastic. I want to go someplace and have something new the next time I go there.
Unique and different.
Because if you're putting the same things up week after week, I'm going to get bored with you. And Rhode Island guys, listen, there's so many choices right now.
Yeah.
If we're not putting out your top game, guess what? We're going to go somewhere else. You know, and buddy, thank you for Long Live, introducing me to Long Live.
And I've been telling you for years, dude. Everything they do, they do is gold. It's everything.
So good. So, you know, Armando, if you're out there, if you're listening.
Armando, dude, if you're listening, dude.
You know, if anybody
has been your boy for a long time now.
You know, he's one of our unicorns. We're trying to get him. And, you know, we're just out there trying to promote everybody. You know, we've said this a million times. This is not about us. This is not about the three of us. It's about the craft beer community, the brewers, trying to get the word out for those guys. And I mean, you guys have heard it all before. You've heard us say it. You know how it is. You know, we're here to help everybody. No matter what it is.
Listen, man, we appreciate this voice, though. We do. We understand the voice. We appreciate it. And so, sometimes, and I know I'm not speaking for everybody, but it gets tough brewing sometimes because, you know, if nobody knows about the brewing process, to brew one beer, you're looking at 6 hours. Like, and then you have to clean up. So from start to staring at it to walking away to having a beer to staring at it to making sure it's a long process, but we do appreciate you guys coming out, you know, going around to all the breweries. You know, the community is what makes craft brewing. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
It really is huge. What you guys do, and even having me on, and I haven't even started yet. You know what I mean?
Please.
But I appreciate it.
I'm telling you, Nate. I see great things coming from Uncommon. I can't wait.
Well, he's taking many walks up Mountaindale Hill.
He's going to be crawling down 44.
He's going to be Ubering home.
I mean, he's going to be like on his hands and knees.
Yeah, but somebody can be like, I'm at Proclamation. I want to go to Angletree. What am I going to do in the middle? Come to Uncommon Pair, right on the highway.
We're in the middle of everything, dude.
Now to fill the gap in the beer trail.
Yeah.
You know,
there's
right off 295, right off Route 44.
Yeah. Right there. So what's your? Do you have any? Before we wrap up, Nate, do you have any collabs? Have you talked to other brewers? Are you going to do anything in the works for like some kind of collaboration with another genius?
We have discussed, as a matter of fact, a couple of months ago when I was at a certain brewery, I'm not going to say them out loud, but they're in Virginia. We did speak about a situation that may arise. And I think once we get underway and, get ourselves planted, and get situated,
of course,
I do think that there is a possibility for us to I want to do a ton of collabs, like not for nothing. Let's just say that.
Listen,
I want to collab with everybody. I want to talk to everybody about everything and have fun. That's what I want to do.
Add us to the list there, Nate, because let me tell you, we did one collab with Crafted Hope. Thank you guys so much. Crafted Hope. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Brilliant. It was brilliant.
Josh, everybody. Mitch.
Kyle was awesome.
We love you guys over there. We did a collab with them, and it was fantastic.
We went to the grand. My wife and I, we took the kids, went to the grand opening. You know what? My kids didn't act up. We had a great time, and we were there for their grand opening. So I wish those guys the best of luck as well, and girls. I wish them the best of luck as well. Great facility, very pretty. They did a nice build out in that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, now we got dogs on our end.
For sure.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed, we all love dogs. So
mine's sitting over there. He's just being quiet right now for some weird reason.
Lucky.
He's looking at you going, who the hell are you talking to in that magic box over there?
Those are freaking dogs barking.
So, but anyway,
Mama's home.
Nate, we can't thank you enough for coming on, for spending the hour with us and talking with us.
Anytime, guys. Thank you so much. And when we open, I really hope we can do a live or something like that.
Yeah.
We'll walk around, we'll drink beers, we'll have a great time, and we'll bring in loud dogs and kids running around throwing stuff. It's going to be
fuck all that shit. Dude, you feed me beers. I'll do anything you want me to do.
That's just it.
Whatever, guy.
We will definitely be there, and we will definitely do something live and get the word out about Uncommon. I mean, everything, like I said, we were fortunate enough that day to try your stuff, and oh my
Doctor, that's
Thank you.
let me tell you. But again, like I said, we'll have you back on another time, Nate. We love doing this stuff. We love talking with everybody, the community, the brewers. That's just what we do. That's what we love. We love enjoying your craft. We love enjoying your beers and everybody else's. I mean, and it is a true artistry.
Totally appreciate it, guys. Mm-hmm. Thank you again for inviting me on.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely,
it's fun. I love rapping about the stuff, man. I love hearing everybody's opinions and stuff. It's good stuff
for sure. And guys, if you're in Smithfield, if you're even near Smithfield, just come out Wednesday night at 6:00. Smithfield Town Hall. Throw your 2 cents in. I'm going to throw my 2 cents in. I love good beer, and I want good beer in Smithfield. So
thank you.
Come down to the Smithfield Town Hall. We'll crack a few beers in the parking lot, and we'll go in. We'll maybe not.
Maybe not the parking lot.
Maybe not there at that time. That might not be the best way to.
Listen. After they say yes or no, cool. We can do. Let's go to
Georgeville Pond and get shitty. Yeah, for sure.
In the parking lot.
Shot to the parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, okay. So tune in next week, guys, as we welcome special dude Mark Pappy, former head brewer of the Six Pack Brewing, and he might be doing a little penny again. Stay tuned for that, guys. For Klaustis, the Greekiest man I know, for the doctor. For Nate Aiello, coming to you live from the foothills of Mount Olympus, freaking Greeks. This is Buddy Thayer. This has been Three Dudes Brews, the last call. Have a good week, folks. Drink good beer.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Everybody.
Drink